Hello, all. It seems that today marks an important event that took place exactly 10 years ago. And as a result of this event, I decided that I'd make a video in regards to my entire career on YouTube thus far. Since, 10 years ago today, I uploaded my very first video. But I'll get to that in a little bit. First, I want to tell of how I came to have YouTube, what I initially used it for, what I discovered through it, and so on and so forth. So, this begins all the way back in probably 2012 or 13. I believe it was right about this time that I received one of those little iPod touch things, that played the music. You had to plug in headphones or some jack to play the music. The original iTunes, I think it was. Either way, I got this when it was either my birthday or Christmas of 2012 or 13. Actually 2012, because I got it before the Nintendo 3DS. That was 2013. Anyways, on this original iTunes thing I got when I was very small, I was only 6 at this time, I had several songs on there, including the song Mr. Sandman and Lollipop by the Chordettes. Now, when I was really small, I was exposed to different styles of music. In the household I lived in, there was Grandpa Dan, Grandma Mary, and my dad. And Grandpa Dan listened to classic rock from around the time that he graduated, and a little bit before that too, and he graduated in 1973. And it used to play on Cool 108, and that was always playing on the radio in the garage. Grandma Mary, on the other hand, listened to a lot of Madonna or ABBA, music from around the time she graduated in 1983. My dad, on the other hand, had all my life listened to rap. The original, gangster rap. He divulged into more modern stuff, and then now he mostly listens to country, which apparently he listened to when he was smaller, when his parents wouldn't allow him to listen to rap. But throughout my early childhood, it was largely comprised of NWA, Tupac, Eazy-E, Eminem, Tech Nine, Insane Clown Posse, so on and so forth. And my dad even went to the Juggalo shows when I was very small. Either way, so I had these 3 different types of music, but I didn't know which one I wanted to side with, which one I wanted to listen to. And I thought, there's only these 3 options because you're a kid. You don't really think about, there's all these other things too. You don't have the exposure or the access to figure out these things. But prior to all of this, when I was taken away from my biological mother and put in a foster home, I was exposed to the show Jeopardy for the 2 or 3 weeks that I lived there. And I really liked the theme of Jeopardy when I was really small. And so that actually would lead as kind of a predecessor to my interest even divulging into music from a century ago. Of course, at that time, a good portion of it was a century ago, but not all of it, and I wouldn't learn about it until a few years down the road yet. Either way, me and my dad used to watch movies a lot. Didn't matter what kind of movie it was, and one of the movies I really liked was Stand By Me. Yeah. It's a classic. Most everybody who's watching my videos probably has seen it, and if you haven't, you should definitely go watch it. It's a great movie. But in that movie, I was exposed to Lollipop and Mr. Sandman, and I really, really liked those songs. And I think that actually is what prompted my dad to even get me the iTunes thing, so I could listen to the songs. I didn't have any other way to do it, and I probably, honestly, was pestering him to play those songs again, or to watch the movie again, knowing how I was. Either way, so that was my first reach into the older sphere of music. For Christmas 2014, I got a Nintendo 3DS, and on there, if you look back at the picture catalog, the thing still works. you'll see that I've took a bunch of pictures. My grandpa Dan had the Reminisce magazine, and so I'd take pictures of pictures in the magazine in black and white or sepia and pretend that the pictures were much older than they actually were, and it was just kind of like a whole thing I came up with in my imagination where I was pretend from the past or something like that before I knew very much about it. But I was always looking into the history. That was the big thing for me. And so the next year rolls around, Christmas of 2014. Did I say that for the 3DS? I meant Christmas of 2013. Either way, Christmas of 2014, I got my Samsung Galaxy Tablet 4. Thing also still works. And it was around this time that I finally got my first exposure of the internet. Before this point, that was not a concept to me at all. And I can't remember exactly how I heard about it. It was likely through my dad's friends talking about YouTube. But in the early half of 2015, when my dad and his friend who was over were talking about the soon-to-come-out movie Straight Outta Compton, they brought up the trailer on YouTube, and I believe it was right about then that I asked if I could have it on my tablet. And my dad said yes. So I got YouTube on my tablet, and the first thing I looked up, and you can't actually go back, I tried to in the search history on this channel. It only goes back to 2017, late 2017 for some reason. But the very first video I technically watched on YouTube was the trailer for that movie. It wasn't long before my history interests, though, seeped into my YouTube exposure. And a lot of the videos that I watched around that time mostly were from Aaron 1912, or later, a channel that doesn't exist anymore, Edmonds RX. And I think it was through this that, yeah, it was his channel that I found the first 1920 song I would ever hear. It was Lee Morris's 1925 recording of I Like Pie, I Like Cake. I fell in love with the sound of this song, and being that it was just recommended in the YouTube thing from one of Aaron 1912's videos, I was like, oh, what's this? And his videos were just collages that ran on a television network over in Europe of 1920s film with 1920s music playing over it. I don't know if you can still find them on YouTube. I think you can, but they might be unlisted. I'm not really sure. I know his channel had something happen to it where it was taken down, so then he recreated a channel and re-uploaded everything. It was a whole thing. I think that was 2018 or 19. Either way. The second recording was Tain't No Sin, To Take Off Your Skin and Dance Around in Your Bones by Lee Morris, which was a recording from 1929. And I thought I liked the first song a lot. I definitely liked this song way more. It wasn't long before I found my way into all these other different songs. Another big one I recall was seeing a clip of from the show Jessie, where they are in a house, a Halloween episode, and the ghost there controls everybody to sing a 1927 song called Hot Feet. And through this, I found Paul Speck's recording on the channel, let's see, I have it written down, CDBPDX, another YouTuber I've watched for a very long time. And that actually comes into play here with my very first upload, but we'll get to that in a second. Then the next song I found was Everybody's Doing It Now by Jack and Nancy Charman, European singers, British singers, I think, on a Calliope Records. And that was the first time I had ever seen, like, the label to a 78. Of course, I wouldn't really know what these were until 2019, but either way, that was my first exposure to ragtime music. So, right about this time, I also found other channels and other videos, particularly a recording of what aired on February 22nd, 1958. It was Dick Clark's Saturday Night Beach Nut Show, and the episode included the Chordettes singing Lollipop and Mr. Sandman. And of course, at that time, Lollipop was a brand new song, had only been out for 2 weeks, but in that recording, they sing it, and I really liked that recording because it was those 2 songs that I had enjoyed by that point for 2 or 3 years. And then through that, I found my first exposure to swing music, which is a recording, like a live recording of Duke Ellington's orchestra playing It Don't Mean a Thing from 1943. I couldn't find whether it was from a movie or not. It probably is. Most of those kinds of recordings from that era are. But it may just be a recording of that. But yeah, no, it was through YouTube that I really got exposed to the kind of music that I regularly listen to. That led to me owning things like this, or all of my records. That was what YouTube was for me. And through that end, I found other styles of music, particularly at first video game music. The YouTuber Venetario, I have to look to pronounce it, his video from 2014, I believe it's September of 2014, where he plays a Super Mario medley on an 8-bit keyboard synthesizer, served as my first exposure to piano video game music. And from there, I actually went on to listen to a lot of what was then uploaded video game soundtracks. And then that led me to looking up SpongeBob production soundtracks, first finding the song Witty Fellow, and from there going that route. So I found an interest in Hawaiian music and at the same time video game music, and that video game music obsession would lead me to discover Tom Breyer in about 2016 or 17, and I really liked his Blue Lampshade record, like the recording Blue Lampshade and Over the Top. That actually might be the title of the record, I forget. Either way, and then his improvisation, or I guess not sight reading videos that are available on YouTube. I found it through that. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Another channel that I watched around this same time, and what likely the first video I watched was an upload that is now 10 years old, is Thoughty2. I've always liked his explanatory videos. There a lot of information in them, always interesting to watch. And the very first video I just mentioned is his The 10 Strangest Planets That Defy All Logic. I was really obsessed with that video. I'm thinking that's the first video. I might have found another one prior to that, but I'm pretty sure that was the first video I watched from him. And I watched it when it was new, so I'm still subscribed to both Thoughty2 and Venetario, along with other channels like CDBPDX or Aaron1912 or 240542. I probably got that wrong. Channels that upload old music, like mine does. Anyways, this very first video I uploaded 10 years ago today was actually me recording with my phone, my tablet, playing the Hot Feet recording uploaded by CDBPDX. And I just covered the camera with my finger, and I made 2 recordings. One where it was just the song, and then another one where I was singing along with the song. And I didn't know which one was which. I didn't check. I just hit one, and I uploaded it to YouTube on my dad's YouTube channel, and labeled it Hot Feet from 1927. Now, when I listened to it and realized it was the one I was singing on, I immediately wanted to delete it, but I didn't know how, because I didn't understand how that worked yet. And so it remains on YouTube to this day. From there, because for a period there, the only channel I could upload on was the one that was my father's, and that was on my phone and not my tablet. I eventually asked my dad if I could create another channel on my tablet, and he initially said no. Well, actually, he just said no. And then 2 nights later, I just decided to hit the sign-in button to see what would happen, and it automatically signed me into this very channel that I'm uploading on to the present day. I then proceeded to upload a recording on my tablet I had recorded in the summer of 2015, where it's me and my sister, and we were like doing a play acting scenario. It's actually the only surviving video from what was originally a set of 3 or 4, but I lost all of the older videos on my tablet. Everything got wiped. It's really unfortunate. That has happened to me a lot, actually, where a bunch of photos and videos get lost. Either way, that serves as the first video on this channel, and that was uploaded March 3rd, 2016. So by March 3rd, I had hit that sign in button and figured out, oh, I have another channel on my tablet already. Now, I've taken over the Gmail address that runs this channel, but originally it was also my father's, hence why the channel is James Irwin and not Aiden Irwin. But it wouldn't be long before I ended up creating another channel on my phone called Aiden Irwin. Now, I don't know anything about this channel. It was created in August 19th of 2016. I uploaded a handful of videos, and then for whatever reason, I lost access to the account. I have not had access to the account since 2016. So I don't know what's on there. I'd be very interested if anybody knows how to get access to it again. I don't know the Gmail account. I don't know the password. I don't know anything in regards to the channel. It'd be cool if I had access to it again, though. I'd like to see what I had on liked videos or watch later if I used that then. Oh, that's another thing. I came on YouTube early enough to where they still had a folder automatically called favorites. I noticed that's not a thing anymore. But when I started my channel, there was. And I still have that playlist to this day. I can't remember if it's still privatized or not. It might be. Either way, I've tried to make everything available, accessible. You can see everything on my channel. That's... the way I see it is if I lose access to this channel, it's a lot more helpful to have it all publicly available so I can look at it again if I want to. Either way, so I created that Aiden Irwin channel, and I had this James Irwin channel, and then on my phone I had my dad's channel, J Irwin, by the end of 2016. And at this time, I was just trying to upload videos to garner attention, get people to watch my channel. It didn't work, but hey, I was trying, and all of those videos are still available on YouTube to this day. If you scroll all the way down, if it lets you, or just if you have the option to hit oldest, you can see that. And I've also created a playlist, my early days of YouTube 2015 to 19. Okay. From there, I would end up creating another channel called James Irwin 2 in... Let's see, what date was that? I think it was... Oh, come on, where is it? I wrote... Oh, there it is. November 23rd, 2017. You can still see the video on my channel. That channel ended up being renamed Timelapse 209, and it was in all capital letters, and then there was, I think, a space, and it was 209. It might have actually been named that by the point of that video's upload. I'm not really sure, but that was actually my first successful channel. I had managed to get to 43 subscribers, and I was telling my dad about this, and he looked over the channel and just deleted it. And I was like, seriously? But no, that was my first attempt at success, and I don't remember what was on that channel. That is lost media, pretty much. But yeah, no. Then it wasn't long before I ended up creating Aiden Irwin 2 as a result of having lost control of Aiden Irwin 1. And started uploading random stuff on that channel, and that was 2018. Looks like May 18th, 2018, that channel was created. From that point, I was continuing to do this same random stuff, trying new things. I had like some videos where I was doing a sock puppet thing, and I was hoping that would garner more attention because I seen other videos garnering that kind of attention. and it just wasn't doing anything for me, no matter how many of them I uploaded, no matter how random the videos were. I look back at them now, and I think they're funny, personally. I've showed them to my friends, they think they're funny, but, you know, it's whatever. That's not what I do on YouTube anymore. But, yeah, and then throughout the year of 2019, I was uploading strictly on Aiden Irwin 2. I had decidedly chose that this channel that I'm uploading on now, I decided it was done, because I had uploaded a recording of myself singing a song that I wrote, and quite frankly, the video was shit. Yes, it's still available, but it's shit. And I was actually embarrassed by that. So I just kind of like decided to go over to the other channel, because fuck that shit. And then in the summer of 2019, I got my very first records when I was staying with my great-grandma Dolores and Lee, a caretaker. They used to be partners. They weren't really partners by the time I was hanging out there. But I was up there for 2 or 3 weeks in August of 2019. And I had mowed the lawn, and Lee said that he would take me to the antique store in the next town over, and I could pick out anything I wanted. And this was the first time I had been able to go to an antique store with the privilege of picking anything I wanted. And so I picked out the 78 RPM records I saw. As soon as I seen them, I went straight to them, because up until this point, my dad had this strict rule that you're not allowed to buy records. What did I do? I got records. And so for my birthday in 2019, I got my original record player. And I created another channel called Aiden Irwin 3, which I've now renamed. I think it's called James Irwin 2 now, like callback to the earlier one. I didn't think it was necessary to have 3 Aiden Irwin channels, but either way, I uploaded onto there the very first attempts at recording music off of my own record player from my own record collection. Unfortunately, I unlisted a lot of those videos, and at some point I ended up deleting all of them. And as a result, that's lost media. But I did recently, within the last couple of years, upload a handful of recordings I had discovered in my messages from around the same period. So if you go back in the channel, you can probably find it. Either way, that was where I first tried uploading music. Then I did 2 recordings of Mills Brothers songs, Never Make a Promise in Vain, and I forget what the other one was, but it's the flip side of the record, where I set my phone up right to the speaker of the record player and recorded it, and so it's just a black screen, and I uploaded that onto Aiden Irwin 2. And then I came back to James Irwin for the first time in nearly a year. I think it was 11 months that I didn't upload on this channel, and I decided I'm going to start uploading records here, and I've been doing that ever since. I did not expect it to garner as much as it has. I'm nearly to 1,000 subscribers. I've uploaded over 1,000 videos, and now we're at the 10-year mark since my very first upload. And of course, my videos are still shit. As you can tell, I'm going all over the place with this video. I think I've mentioned everything I was trying to mention. Yeah, looks like it. Either way, case in point, besides all of that, it's crazy to me that I've been on YouTube for a decade. It's crazy to me that YouTube is 2 decades old. I mean, as of this year, in April, I think it was, that we hit the 20-year mark for YouTube. And it's just, it's a weird concept in my head, because, yeah, I may be young. I'm 19 right now. I'm younger than YouTube, but mentally, that's just... Anyways, the concept of things on the internet reaching 20 years is like, when I think 20-year-old things on the internet, I'm thinking 1995, big computers, like, here, this one over here. It's just, it's weird to me. that we have reached the point that YouTube is 20 years old, and that I have been on the platform for 10 of those years. Of course, I didn't see early YouTube or any of that, and there's a lot of people who talk about how it was so much better. I seen the tip end of that before it became what it is today, I think I would say. At least my experience of it is relatively similar to how it's described for people 2010 on. Earlier than that, I wouldn't know. I was too young. But it's just, it's a milestone. It deserves a video. So there's that. I mean, it's 25 minutes apparently now that I've been talking. I think that's enough, but I hope you continue to enjoy my content. I'll continue to upload for the time being, or foreseeable future. But yeah, no, 10 years. That's where we're at. And that's pretty crazy. So, thanks for being along for the journey, no matter how long you've been here. If there are any people still subscribed to this channel from all the way back when I was still just doing random uploads like skits, it'd be cool if you could like comment below. I'd love to see a comment from, or a commenter from that era of me being on YouTube. That would be pretty crazy. Either way, as for everybody else, thanks for tagging along. Long-time subscribers, which going back to 2019, I'll consider that a long-time subscriber. Thank you for your support and continued viewership of my channel. During this time, there's even like a couple people I've befriended on YouTube. One of them passed away. I made a video commemorating him a couple of years ago. Was it a couple of years ago now? Can't be. Well, it might be. Victrola Jazz, or later Jazz Victrola. Either way, that's it. I'm gonna stop talking. 10-year. That's where we're at. Thank you, and I look forward to the next 10 years, but I don't know if I'll still be uploading in 10 years, or even 5 years. Who knows? Thank you.